weekly uh, Facebook live interview. And I'm really thrilled today to have a dear friend of mine, Janet Langmeier. I've known Janet for about the last 6 to 8 years, and she is a fantastic human being. And she's going to talk to us today about coaching. What does it mean to have a coach? Janet has a wonderful new program that she started. And I'm not going to tell you about it, but anyway, she'll tell you about it in just a minute when I bring her on. But one of the reasons that I've been doing a wide variety of guests that we've been interviewing is because functional medicine is a wide arena, okay, about all the different ways that you can get healthier and have a more vibrant, vital life. And so we have interviewed Dr. Montgomery last week on neuro feedback and neuro health, brain health. We've interviewed a young woman who does yoga and does movement therapy with older people. We've interviewed James Maskell on our first one. James has been a huge encourager, promoter of functional medicine and also group visits. So it's just a wonderful way for you to just get all kind of information. Now, when I invite Janet on board here in just a minute, you can make comments, you can ask questions, okay? And then when we draw to a close of the interview, we'll see what kind of questions you have and do our best to answer them. And Tom will also put in the comment box how you can get in touch with Janet, because if you want to work with somebody that's going to help you get your life back on track after almost a year and a half of being isolated and wondering what you're doing in your life, she's going to be a wonderful person for you to reach out to. So we're going to go live now, and I'm going to invite Janet on board. Janet, welcome. It's so great to have you here. I was just telling people about you and about why I invited you to come on board. So I'd like for you to just begin by telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in what you're doing right now, and then we'll kind of explore what you're doing, okay?
Okay, well, thanks. First of all, thank you for having me. You know, I'm very thrilled to be here. You've been doing good work and telling people about how they can change their life with functional medicine, and I kind of do the same thing by coaching people. So I've been teaching, mentoring, coaching for 30 years. But it was always in a corporate environment, and it was, following kind of the corporate world. I stepped out, if you will, on my own shingle about 6 years ago. And now that, the entrepreneur, but really coming from that same place of knowing that there's something in us, all of us, that wants more life. And no matter how good our life is, that natural desire to live on the green growing edges of our own becoming is just part of who we are, right? And so helping people to get in touch with that and express that in their life, whatever that might be, is what I do. And it's life-giving to me as well as for my clients. So I got into it because it's fun. It's a fun way to live my life. And I help people, which is my number one goal.
Yeah, that's absolutely wonderful. So, in functional medicine, many times functional doctors have a coach to help with their patients, because one of the issues that I come up with is trying to keep people encouraged. We ask them to make changes and they're like, oh no, I can't do that. It could be simple changes like their diet, or are they exercising, or, what are their relationships like? So it's a whole lifestyle approach. So tell us a little bit more about the kind of clients that you work with, and some of the issues that you have to deal with getting people moving.
Well, I appreciate what you have to say, because everything you said is what clients talk to me about. And I come from the premise of we're already okay. So I'm not trying to fix something that's wrong. We're already okay where we are. So we start with where we are and look to where we want to be. And change comes from the inside. So there's a lot of mindset and movement in what I do. And, what's the story that I'm telling myself. All of us have a story, and sometimes our story serves us well, and sometimes our story holds us back. And we've been telling ourselves our story for so long, we don't always recognize that it's not serving us, especially if we want to move forward. Hearing things like how we actually speak about ourselves and to ourselves. So the first thing that I do with almost every client is to start notice what you're noticing. Notice who you are, how you show up. And we sometimes show up differently in different ways, but how do we show up for ourselves? And that opens up all kinds of conversation. But I have clients come to me about weight loss. I have clients who are looking for peace of mind. I have clients who are at a stage in life where they want to change something. Maybe it's a job, maybe it's a career. Sometimes I have a lot of clients who are, I wouldn't call them retired. They want to live a non-retired life, but a semi-retired life. I have a lot of people who are, what's my next chapter look like? I'm not ready to just be a leisurely life only. I want to contribute. And that's a common denominator with everyone I work with is we want to matter. We want to contribute. We want to know that there's something that's valuable. And I have a lot of people start out by saying, well, what's my purpose? If you're breathing, you have a purpose. Yeah. You know, if you're breathing, you have a dream. And if you have a dream and a purpose, it's about listening to it and helping that to come out. Every really great professional athlete has a coach. We are professionals at living our own lives. So I can coach anyone who is willing, who wants to. Mm-hmm.
You know, the idea of coaching is, that's what I do too. I tell my patients, I said, you come to me with health problems and I want to help those for sure. If we can get those out of the way, my ultimate joy is to see people who get in touch with their life. And we talk about that all the time. Why are you here? What is your purpose? And it doesn't have to be anything huge and grand. It can be something simple, but it has to be in alignment with who they are. So I know we've talked about this many times. So what do you think your purpose in life is? Do you want to share that?
I'm living it. I'm living it right now. I mean, okay. I'm joyful. I do what I want. I mean, I literally get up every day and I do what I love. So I'm living my purpose. I enjoy my family. I enjoy my friends. I enjoy my clients. I have joy in my life. And we don't give ourselves enough opportunity to really have joy. And it's a natural state. And I think I was just wrapping with a client yesterday, and we had done 3 months together. I typically work with, the minimum I work with a client is 3 months, and she was just wrapping up her 3 months. And I loved what she said because it's a common comment. I have more confidence in speaking my mind. I have more confidence in trusting myself. I hear my intuition and I listen to it, I actually act on it. But more than anything, I have peace of mind. The things that used to make me crazy, I recognize I have power and control over that. I can make decisions in a different way. Peace of mind tends to be something that we give a lot of chatter to, but to literally start to live it and surrender into it and not be, it's not talking about being a quiet person or whatever. We're talking about feeling good and confident and going forth in life that way. And so, yeah, it brings more joy. And that's a beautiful thing to have. So yeah, I'm living that right now, Wanda. Thank you.
Well, Tom and I were just talking today about the fact that maybe we're coming out of this pandemic and we're moving into spring. And, many of us have felt a little down. I think I talked about the idea of languishing. We didn't know, we're not really quite ready to give up. We're not really quite depressed, but we don't know what to do next. And I think this is just absolutely the perfect time to start getting in touch with who we really are on planet Earth. I remember one time many years ago, I was going through a difficult time in my life, and I don't remember what I was doing, maybe taking a walk or something. But for the first time, I actually heard my own voice. And it almost stunned me. I mean, it did stun me, but, that's the kind of thing we're talking about, being able to go within and find out, are you living in alignment with who you are? So
Mhm.
that's just great.
The pandemic, can I pick up on what you were saying about the pandemic and our time that we've had? Um, I actually thought maybe that would be the death knell of my business. It's been quite the opposite. And I've done a lot of things and worked with a lot of people this last year who hadn't heard their own voice. And do you remember when it first started and everything stopped? I can remember standing outside on my driveway and not hearing anything except the birds. And if you're afraid of that kind of stillness, it's hard to hear your own voice. But that's when I started hearing from people, because quiet, that immense quiet we had when nothing was moving and everybody was in, we decided individually whether or not we were going to use that as an opportunity and a springboard to get in touch and move forward, or to pull in. And everybody has different experiences. I've had great conversations and seen wonderful things and people doing new things because they took advantage of this time, this unprecedented experience we've been in together.
Yeah, that whole idea is a fascinating thing to me. I must admit that I did languish a bit. I know that a lot of our patients kind of withdrew and we haven't heard from them. We reach out to them. But this kind of idea of trying to get people to rejuvenate their life and get back in touch with themselves is so very important. And it's actually healthy.
Very, very healthy.
It's healthy, okay? And we're getting lots of good comments over here, but pain is the toughest obstacle in aging, the whole orthopedic thing. Okay, well, that's interesting. Now, you're also doing something new in movement, aren't you? You want to?
I am, and that it's a big thing. When you work with people all the time, helping them realize their dreams, it's really hard not to listen to the ones you have in your own heart. When I stepped out and started coaching 5-6 years ago on my own, that was the first step into dreaming. But I've had this secret little desire since I was a little girl to dance. I have 2 right feet. I'm left-handed and I have 2 right feet. And whenever I'm in a class where they're doing any kind of movement, if they're going 2 to the right, I'm going to the left. If my hand's supposed to be here, my other hand, I'm not a very coordinated person. And I also work with a coach. So, I teach what I learn, right? I do what I do. And she had a movement program this whole last year. I've been working with her, and I would just peek in once in a while. I was afraid to be seen. I didn't want anybody to see my body. And I didn't want to see anybody see me move. And I just really had a hard time. But the few times I stayed in, oh my God, it was so much fun. Oh, it was so fun. So she literally teased me into taking this program with her. And I've now finished the program, gotten certified so I can teach it. It's called Transcendence. And I'm adding that movement to my Body Odyssey program, which is really the mindset part, right? And so we're putting mindset and movement together, but it's free movement. And it feels like when you were little. So if your body doesn't move real well, you can do it in a chair. I have people who do it lying on a sofa. How do you want to move? And we remember how we moved when we were little. And we start to just let the body move gently. And you can make it as big or as little as you want. You can get, out there with your arms flying and get the heart rate going if you want, or you can just be wherever. So I did a whole month where I just invited people to move with me while I was going through my certification. And I had men, I had women, I had kids, and every single person loved it. And I will tell you what the little 4-year-old boy said. He was dancing with his grandmother off screen. She was on screen dancing. He was off screen. And I do one dance where we have scarves and we just let ourselves feel like girls again, right? Well, the guys don't have any problem with that either. They get out there and do it. Well, here I started seeing this little floppy animal, like a little giraffe, right? And after we were done, his grandmother says to me, he was off screen. And when she was dancing with a scarf, he was dancing with his giraffe. And she said, why didn't you come on screen? And he said, I didn't know the song.
Really? I didn't know the song.
I just didn't know the song, he said.
Oh, and that is so exciting,
the joy of just expressing through the body. And when I have a client who can't say or doesn't want to write it out, don't worry about it. Move it out. You can move things out of your body without having to have deep conversation. And that's pretty freeing too.
Yeah, some people actually draw,
Yes.
or write poetry. We're going to have. I think I've invited Laura Glaves to join us with her artwork. So it's just so exciting to realize that we're whole beings, okay, and we're more than our gut distress or our brain fog. We're whole beings, and we've got to bring ourselves alive. So movement is so important. It's part of our lifestyle, and we don't have to be a marathon runner. You don't have to go to the gym and, lift weights until you can hardly move. Just moving.
Yes.
Because that gets everything flowing. It gets your mind flowing, your emotions flowing, your blood flowing, your lymphatics flowing, and it just brings you alive. So I love the idea that you're doing this right now. So have you been doing mostly online?
Everything I've been doing online. I haven't done anything live and in person, face to face for over a year. I do a lot of work online and did long before COVID hit. I mean, that's a world I live in, is an online world, and I'm fine with that. I'm already planning some workshops later in the year where I'll be like live in person and not on a screen. But I found that people are obviously more comfortable than they ever were in doing things on screen. But, we're hungry for some face-to-face, and it's going to take a while before we figure out where we want to be and what we want to do with our time. But a lot of what we've learned is we have choice. We didn't have choices before. This gives us choices. And, if I can do a short movement for like 15 minutes to pick up your day. You don't have to be anywhere. You can be at your desk, you turn it on, and for 15 minutes, we just shake out the energy and we're off. Or I can do a full class. So letting people find ways. We're meant to move, but we were born with the ability to move, and whenever we have problems moving, that's what they are. They're problems, and there are people who have problems. I was one of them. That's been a real challenge for me in my life. So it's a joy to change that and be gentle in allowing myself to be seen. That was one of them. And then to help other people to be seen too, because there's no wrong way to do it.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, you're one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen. And the moment I first met you, you just were bursting forth with smiles all over the place. So, that's fantastic. And, we've been doing most of our, well, not all of it, but most of our follow-ups with our patients on Zoom. And now we're getting more people to come back in. And we've been trying to do some group visits online. And I can hardly wait until we can do them in person. And I think it would be a great idea when we start doing that we invite you to come in person and work with us with some of your great ideas. That probably will come in the fall. Who knows?
Let's get it on the calendar. I'm there. I love it. I always love working with you, Wanda. And, we both believe in the goodness inside, right? I mean, this is about finding what's inside of us. Everybody has goodness inside. And it comes out in different ways.
Yeah, it sure does. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have Tom put how people can get in touch with you on the comment page. You've got a website.
I appreciate that. Yes, I do. And for anyone who's watching today, my gift for them coming in and watching the two of us have a good time together is if they contact me, I'll give them 30 minutes free of my time.
Oh,
so anybody who responds, just let me know that, they watched us here, and I'll give them 30 minutes discovery call free. And I also have a free workshop coming up on the 26th, which is a Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. It's free. So anybody who wants to log in, go to my website, look for the workshop and register for free. It's a free workshop.
Okay. Tom has put that in. Your website is phoenixsoaringinternational.com. And .com. And then Janet @ would be an email address for you, right?
Okay. That's right. Thanks, Wanda.
Okay. So what do I want to ask you? I guess this is something important. Why do you think coaching is so powerful?
Uh, this is my own opinion. I think what I've seen and experienced both as a coach and being coached is that it aligns with what's already there. It supports what's already there. And what's already there is a desire for more, a desire to let life be lived. And, we're just like the flower that blooms, we want to bloom. And we have that inside of us. So coaching allows you to get back in touch with the way you really want to be. And everybody has a unique mark for that, right? We all have a unique place where that desire wants to be expressed. But it's letting you fully, freely express yourself in ways that you might have said, oh, I can't, I don't have enough of, I'm not this, I'm not that. And when people say that in coaching, I only let them, you can say that. It's like you can't say it, but it's like, well, and how much of that is really true? And it really is never true. It's a story. So helping people to come align with their real story, with the piece of themselves that is wanting to live a fuller, freer expression. That's why I think coaching works well. I am not a directive coach. So if someone's looking for, I'm going to hold you accountable, you have to do these 3 things, you have to check in with me, there's no freedom in that. And some people want that kind of accountability. That's not the kind of coach I am. And they would probably not enjoy coaching with me because I won't hold them accountable in that way. I hold people accountable through their desire for what they want. And so they choose their own accountability. It's very freeing. I'm really teaching people to not need me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You actually have to be an extraordinarily intuitive listener, because when you find someone who is on the right track, you have to support that and celebrate it with them.
Right.
If they're on the wrong track, you have to guide them back to what they just said was in alignment with who they are. And it's a gentle kind of work, I think. So,
it is, and you're exactly right. I do listen for how they're talking about themselves, right? And I don't make it wrong. There's nothing wrong about what we say. There are things that are more effective. There are things that make us feel better. There are things that don't compromise what we say we want. Because, so I want more, fill in the blank. I want more love. I want more money. And then we start talking about, well, what are you giving? What's going on in your life that you're giving? Are you giving love? And well, if you're withholding it, it's really hard to receive it. Yeah. Are you giving money? Oh, well, if you're withholding it, it's hard to receive it. And then people go, well, if I don't have any money, how do I give money? There's so many ways to give money, and it doesn't have to be big amounts. It can be small. I had a little experience with myself. When you go to the grocery store or the pet store or something, and or even a place to eat, they'll say, you want to round it up to the next dollar for some charity, right? And there for a while, I was in my Scrooge kind of place going, well, how come everybody's asking me for money? What is this about? And then I hear myself and go, Janet, that isn't how you live your life. How about we look at this as an opportunity to circulate? It's not even $1. It's circulation. So then I started going, be aware every time you get an opportunity to hand somebody, like somebody's on the street, I give them $1. If I've got $1, if I've got 5, I give them 5. If I ask me to roll up, to 50 cents or whatever, I realize I'm participating in that circulation. It doesn't hurt me, it helps me, but it was an attitudinal change. So I can look at that in myself, and then I can also hear that in others. And when we give people permission to start with what's right there in front of us, with whatever I have, with where I am right now. So often when I'm working with people, they want the big kahuna right now, right? Let's get the whole enchilada and get it all done. And you know what? We don't live our life that way. Most of the time we live our life in incremental ways. Every once in a while we have those big experiences and a big aha moment, and we make a shift. But for the most part, we're incremental learners.
Yeah, that is so true, isn't it? And, it brings up so many thoughts about the idea of giving. And, it doesn't always have to be money. It could be giving of your time, giving of your support, your appreciation, giving gratitude for everything in your life. It's just,
all of it has value.
What we're talking, in functional medicine, we're trying to teach people a new way of living their life, okay? So that maybe we should call it the real way of living your real life, okay?
Yes.
And not somebody else's life, but your life, so that you are in a congruence with your inner values, your belief systems, and things like that. So, do you think it's ever possible for our world to change?
Of course it is.
Yeah, and
every little thing that you and I do, and all the people we know, it's that pebble in the water, right? And we just have to trust that the wave keeps going. And what you said about giving, time and talent and all that. When people give time, they often don't attach value to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes we only attach value to, I have to give money. Well, your time is also money. Your talent is also money. We just don't think of it that way. So we don't realize that we're actually moving the energy all the time. And so I do encourage what you were saying earlier is to do that, because anytime we're giving out, whatever that energy is that's coming out, we are unsticking, if you will. If you think about a big conduit that gets blocked, we're starting to move it out of the way to make room for more to come in. And what will come in at the intention at which we put it out. What does Wayne Dyer say? When the things we look at change, right? Because of the way we look at it. Just the observation, right? Just the mere act of observation will change what we're looking at. So how we look at things and the way we look at things change because the very fact that we were involved in that looking and giving, right? That's all the part of that whole movement of energy.
Yeah, you're giving of your true self. Mm-hmm. And, you can give things and you can give money, but if you are not involved in it as a part of your being, then it's superficial. And it always makes you feel sometimes even resentful that you felt like you had to give something. But when
your intention isn't aligned, right? Your intention isn't aligned with it. It's all about, the gracious giving of yourself.
Yeah, give yourself away.
Right. With grateful expectation that things come back to you, but not necessarily from where you gave.
That's true. Mm-hmm. As someone said, God, I pray that I'm all used up when I'm ready to go. Yeah. So all used up, giving out that beautiful energy of your whole beingness. And wow, that's amazing. Is there anything else you want to say to our lively audience here?
I don't know. I mean, if they want to make some changes in their life, they want to just experience more of their own life at a higher level. I'm always willing to talk to people and check in. Not everybody's the right fit for it, and
I know, yeah.
And you want everybody to, whoever decides they want to do it, to feel like, hey, this is the right place for me to be. And when that happens, it's amazing.
I think I've talked a lot about stages of change, and many times we're just kind of sort of aware that we're not where we want to be, or we're feeling miserable, and that's called preconception. And then you get to the play or pre-contemplation, or I can't remember all the stages right now, but we do get to the point when we know it's time, and that we're willing to allow life to lead us to the next direction.
And then it works beautifully, Wanda.
Yeah, it does.
Beautifully. The biggest obstacle is the unwilling mind. When we still have a story that says I'm not worthy, we may not use those words, but we have that feeling. Yeah. I can't do this because, all of us have told ourselves that story in different ways at different times.
Boy, unworthiness is a huge issue for many people. Now, let me see if there's anybody that's got a question here. Tough to change lifestyle. Yeah, I agree.
Up until now.
One step at a time. I always need a good motivator. Son's wedding is coming up and grandchildren to come. Okay. I've coached with her popping up. Wait a minute. We got a lot of people here. I've coached with Janet, and it made a huge difference for me.
I love you, whoever you are. Thank you.
Pain is the toughest obstacle in aging. We talked about that. Give me a minute. And joy helps pain and discomfort. Yes, yes. Janet was very helpful in getting us through the pandemic. I'm sorry, what's happening here? Okay. Yes, having Janet's support during this time was amazing. I found my voice and started owning who I am in ways I never thought I could.
Thank you. I love you.
I know. Let me see what this one says. We get embarrassed when so limited, even getting up from the floor with bad knees.
Oh, I feel you there. And guess what? We can change that.
Yeah. My goal is my dance well with my firstborn kiddo at his wedding in 7 months. I had to get my knees replaced and then a disc herniated. Wow. But now a heart valve is an obstacle. Now I never know which way to turn. I'll figure out what's a priority or do nothing. Well, you might want to talk to Janet. Maybe she can help get you moving again.
Slowly but surely, there's always a way. And we can always do something with what we have with where we are. It might not be the big thing, but there could be many things, yes. And you can help too, Wanda.
Oh, yeah. You know, we're a great team, aren't we?
Yeah, okay. We are. And, you know, the couple of those people who made comments about through the pandemic, one of the things I did for a full year is I had a group every morning at 7:15. We plugged into a Zoom call and did a little check-in and meditation. And we did it for 365 days nonstop. And that little group, most of us lived alone. And I just invited people in and we just showed up with bedhead and still in our jammies and robes. We had 15 minutes and I just like check in, how you doing? You're okay. And then I do a little meditation and send everybody off and we go off for our day. And many of the wonderful women who showed up for that, we helped each other through a really difficult time because I think all but one of us live alone.
You know, we have to help each other. That's why we have to come together as community. And the need to belong is so important, okay?
Well, and I have a community that people can join on, like you have the functional medicine group. Mm-hmm. I also have one, Phoenix Soaring Odyssey, which is open. People can join it. And that group not only is there on Facebook, but once a month I do a class, and the members of that class, it's a way to stay in touch. It's a way to be connected, to be part of a community who are encouraging each other. They haven't necessarily done my programs. Many of them have, but not everybody, because we just want to make people welcome to being open to this kind of support and thinking.
Yeah. And Tom, can you hear me? Can you put that on your Facebook group?
It's called Phoenix Soaring Odyssey.
Phoenix Soaring Odyssey.
Yeah, because an odyssey is not only a fabled journey, it's also a flock of phoenixes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds like another discussion. I don't know. Wait, let me see if I can no, I can't comment. Tom, I'm going to call Tom in for just a minute. Gang, this is Tom. Tom, are you there?
I am. I'm trying to look up the Phoenix Soaring Odyssey so I can put it on there.
Yeah, the exact link.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having a Facebook group is so important because you get like-minded people who really want to learn something or grow in a particular way. That's why we started this functional medicine for everyone, including the little ones. I'm a pediatrician, so I love kids, and we got to get our kids involved and help them. And, you know, what is a parent but also a coach?
Absolutely, yeah.
So you probably ought to do some parenting coaching, maybe somewhere along the way. Okay,
I have 9 grandchildren, so I get a chance to have all that young stuff is still happening for me.
I know, it keeps you alive too. Keeps you young.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tom, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Now looks like we probably not getting too many other comments, and I want to thank everybody for all your lovely comments. And if you want to get in touch with Janet, you know how to do that now, and we'll be sure that we post that again so that you know, in case you remember that these interviews are recorded, okay? And you can see the recording if you didn't have a chance to see it live. You just can't ask questions. Janet, thank you so much, dear. I'm looking forward to hugging you soon. It's been a long time. Dang it. I think we had breakfast together last May, maybe.
It was a year ago. Yeah, it was a long time ago, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm so grateful to you for having me here. I love talking to you, and I'm available for anybody who wants to reach out. They can take advantage of my free 30 minutes.
Yeah. You don't want to miss that, okay? Because Janet is just a spark plug, okay? All right. We'll see you next week. Next week, I'm interviewing Diane Bailey, who is a Tai Chi teacher. And again, we're going to be into movement. Tai Chi's beautiful programming. So I'll tell you more about that later. Janet, thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. Mwah.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.